So if you're watching this and you want to get healthier and you want to drop weight, well, then this is how I did it. Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of a 3-part video series talking all about lifestyle, wellness, nutrition, and diet for the pageant, but also long-term. Now in this video, I'm going to cover a lot of my own anecdotal experiences, starting with when I was at Miss America, a reunion a few years later after the competition. I had a few contestants come up to me and say, wow, Crystal, you look great. Like you could still compete now. But it occurred to me that that's not because of any effort of my own, it's really cultural. I grew up in a home where we ate a lot of rice, veggies. If there was meat, it was maybe like a 10-ounce piece that was cut up for a family of 4 to share. A lot of the other contestants, they grew up eating mac and cheese and pizzas and lasagnas and chicken tenders and French fries. Whereas for me, a lot of my comfort foods were rice and broth and seaweeds and foods that just weren't as caloric. Long term, you're gonna set yourself up for success if you eat the right foods that fuel a body that can do more. It's really orienting around you feeling good and being able to be productive and stay healthy and keep your medical bills low over the course of your life. So if you're watching this and you want to get healthier and you want to drop weight, well, then this is how I did it. Taking a step back, when I was 8 years old, I remember a very formative experience. I had a rhythmic gymnastics coach who lined us all up and singled us out if we were too chubby. Now I was 8 years old. She says, skinny, skinny. Oh, Crystal, you need to lose some weight. And I was 8 years old standing there like, okay. I just remember feeling shame and humiliation at that time. When I was 14, I decided that I was gonna lose some weight. I was like, okay, I'm a freshman in high school. I really wanna take this dance thing seriously. So I was online on some forums and I saw that this book, Eat to Live, was very successful in helping some of these internet strangers lose weight quickly. And my mom went to Borders and she bought it for me and brought it home. And I decided to do everything in this book. And Dr. Joel Fuhrman really advocates a philosophy around nutrition over calories. So you win if you get the maximum nutrition for the least amount of calories. By not cooking any of your vegetables, you get a lot of your nutrients. So that's how you stay healthy and that's how you stay safe. When I did this diet, I remember my taste buds really changing because my taste buds were very oriented towards processed foods. Like I was eating ramen like 3 days a week. I really liked soda. I liked chips. I liked gummy bears. Like I was eating honestly like crap because I was dancing. I told myself like, oh, I'll be fine. But I was starting to get chubbier than I wanted to be. And so at 14, I took this diet and the most amazing thing happened. My palate really changed. I got rid of everything for 2 months, and then I slowly reintroduced something as basic as even soy sauce. And that soy sauce was like so salty. Don't get me wrong, the first like week of that diet was awful because I just constantly felt hangry because I wasn't getting as much calories. I was eating a ton, but it was like impossible to overeat on this diet because you can't, it's like all vegan raw. So I couldn't eat any cheese, I couldn't have any chicken soup. Like it was just very, very basic and stripped down. But it had this effect on my taste buds to the point where the baseline was reset so that all of the little things that I reintroduced, I became able to appreciate again. I did this during a summer, and when I went back for my sophomore year of high school, interestingly enough, I had one teacher who, in front of other teachers, a dance teacher, say, "You look great, good job." This was a dance teacher, a ballet teacher. And then another teacher pulled me aside that same day and said, "Crystal, you need to eat a hamburger." Someone's always going to be upset with your body. There's always going to be someone who thinks you're too skinny or too fat. Oh, you're too tall. Your eyes are too close set. Oh, your hair is too black. You're too this, you're too that. You're not this enough. But ladies and gentlemen, the only person who matters is really you. The only person who matters is that you look in the mirror and you're like, I like myself. That's all that matters. Okay, so after reading Eat to Live, it reset my taste buds and I really became a fanatic of whole vegetables and fruits. Like every lima bean, I was like, oh, this lima bean is really tasty. Peeling a banana, like, oh, you can really taste the banana-y, flavors in this banana. It was something I'd never experienced before. So I'd actually really recommend that you go raw vegan for a bit, even if it's just to slowly develop a newfound appreciation for things. It sucks when you're doing it, but afterwards, It's awesome. So throughout high school, I'm eating lots of vegetables, and my mom and dad were very helpful in supporting me in that. They cooked a lot of those things. They even dropped me off at grocery stores on my way home so that I can pick and choose all of my favorite fruits. But in college, I got into a private institution in which tuition was very expensive and room and board in the dining hall plan was mandatory. So I was paying a buttload of money to have access to this incredible buffet. And I grew up in a middle-class background, so it wasn't like food was scarce, but I didn't have endless rows of cereals to choose from, and like 4 different types of pie, and like a froyo dispenser with 2 different flavors every night. So lo and behold, all those things were available when I was a freshman, and I went nuts. I put on freshman 15, not because of alcohol, but because I was eating everything that I could see. I was just so excited. So freshman year, I decided to compete for Miss Chinatown. I was like, all right, it's time to cut all this crap out, and I'm gonna lose the weight and win this contest. I just had my eyes on the prize, and like that, I went cold turkey on all cakes, fruits, desserts. I just ate hard-boiled eggs, vegetables, mushrooms, beans, and egg whites. That's all I ate. With the occasional chicken breast. I got into really great shape for that pageant. I was underweight, but I felt good and I looked good. And then after I won the pageant and went back, I went back to where I was before. People definitely said things and they noticed that I had gained weight, but I really didn't care because I was living my best life and I was really, really happy. I loved my new friends in college. I just really love and appreciate that time in my life. So when I wanted to compete for Miss California, I did it 3 years in a row and I was in college the whole time. Like I yo-yoed a bit. I lost the weight for the pageant, then I put it back on. I lost the weight for the pageant, then I put it back on. And because I was young and my metabolism was so fast, I got really good at dropping the weight quickly because it had become a formula at that point. I just started running more, I stopped eating carbs, ate a lot more fruits and veggies, and just let my metabolism take care of the rest. But we all also have that one skinny friend who eats terribly, like a diet full of crap, refined sugar, all sorts of candy, and yet they are like this big. I was studying human biology in college, and I learned that a lot of the skinny people out there are like skinny fat, meaning that they have fat around their organs, which actually is correlated with really deadly health outcomes longer term. So just because someone is skinny on the outside doesn't mean that they are healthy. And someone who, on the flip side, has more subcutaneous fat, which is fat like underneath the skin, they might look heavier, but they're actually healthier because they don't have as much fat between their organs. So you can't always tell how healthy someone is just by looking at them. The long and the short of it is eating healthfully and orienting your diet around how you feel and how productive and how strong it makes your body is much better long term. What you look like for a pageant is so temporary. It's just that one night. But if you can use that as a gateway to develop healthier habits for a longer, richer life, like, you're golden. That is what you should be aiming for, folks. Pageants are temporary, but your eating habits, that's your lifetime. So fast forward to today, I am much more in a growth mindset. I grew up in a scarcity mindset, meaning that if there were all these desserts in front of me, I would want to eat like all of them right then and there, licking every single finger, picking up all the crumbs. I feel like I'm able to sort of shed the scarcity mindset and move more towards a growth mindset, which is just having faith that there will be good food to come. There will be better things. Don't feel like you have to get every calorie in because it's there. Plus, I've eaten a lot of really bad food and good food out there, and with the bad food, I'm like, I know exactly what that tastes like. I don't need it. Plus, my body's a temple, so I'm not just gonna let anything in. So what I do to stay in shape without dieting boils down to a couple of easy guidelines. I exercise at least twice a week, making sure that I sweat in both of those. Not really yoga or like Pilates, cardio. Cardio really gets your heart rate up, it gets my appetite up, and it's just a great way to burn calories per minute. It's super efficient. I also like to run like right before I wash my hair. Sometimes it's like, oh shoot, I need to wash my hair. Now's a good time to run, because the way I see it is I like to be efficient. If I'm going to be using shampoo and getting myself wet anyway, might as well just get sweaty and get some grease up there. Next, I try to really eat unprocessed foods for as much as possible. Whenever I'm eating at home, I always eat healthfully, because if I'm out of the house, if I'm at a party with friends, out in public with a client, sometimes I don't get to choose what I eat. So I reserve the cheat meals for when I'm with other people, when I have less control, and I don't want to be like that person at the table ordering, a BLT without the bread and the bacon. And most importantly, the driving overarching philosophy around everything you put into your body is fiber. Fiber is so good. Our human bodies are made for fiber. It just makes everything work better. It's like the premium gas for your machine, okay? Fiber. It makes you regular. In the morning I wake up, I feel like I've lost 3 pounds after using the bathroom, and it's awesome. It's great. You gotta try it. Seriously, it's the best. And I think about how I'm feeling at the time to drive what I reach for. Chocolate, for instance, is so much tastier during that period of the month. Same thing with like a steak. I don't really eat too much red meat, but when I do, it's like, man, I was yelling at my husband and now there's nothing a good steak can't fix. As my husband's like, okay, feed her everything she needs so she stops yelling at me while she has PMS. If you're curious to see what's in my kitchen, feel free to come along with me. I actually want to grab a snack. I think I have some carrots and peanut butter. Come on. Okay, so this is my kitchen. Typically I always have some bananas. I've been on a French fry kick lately. I have a separate fridge in here, a little empty, but that's just some chicken breast. This is some ginger and carrots. And I love how I can just pull them out of a bag, rinse them quickly in the sink, and eat them. Right now I'm actually snacking on carrots and peanut butter because that's what I feel like eating. This is my fridge. Okay, so you'll notice it's got a ton of green things in it. Green is good. Sometimes your salad's a little salty. Just gotta cut it with more spinach. Jujubes, 2 types of grapes, got some fruit here, guacamole made from avocados, lots of good fat for you, blueberries. This is some of my husband's leftover salsa that he didn't finish yesterday, but again, very nutritious, really fresh stuff. Here's some chicken breast right here. All right, now this is something that my mom gave me when I went to dim sum. Very processed. I actually have no idea what's in here. I'll probably heat it up in an oven, take a bite, and then chuck it if I don't like it. But I feel bad throwing anything away that my mom gives me. Some grapes that I had yesterday. And here's some meat. We have some chicken apple sausage from Costco. We have some thick cut bacon and also turkey bacon. We have some fish down here. This is a trout, eggs, a random bag, and some basil and tomatoes from my cousin's garden. So down here, we've got lots of greens. We have watercress. We have a head of some sort of lettuce. And I like to put a white paper towel in these bags because it helps soak up the excess moisture, keeping the produce fresher longer. We have a Napa cabbage. We have cilantro, some celery, kale here. We have some purple kale right in here, green onions, and looks like, oh, we have a plum. Okay, a plum. I'm gonna set that right there so that I eat it so it doesn't go too ripe. But it doesn't ripen, you know, too quickly in the fridge. Peaches, nectarines, any stone fruits, hint, put them in the fridge if you want them to last longer. And then moving on into the second drawer, we have spinach, turkey breast, some salami, peppers, and a head of cauliflower. So that is pretty much our fridge. You know, it's all super fresh produce. This stuff does not last forever. We like to eat stuff that moves quickly. And in terms of our freezer, I like to eat ice cream, so I have 2 tubs of ice cream in here. But in addition to that, frozen mangoes and frozen sockeye salmon and Pacific cod. So just think of really, really lean proteins. That looks like chicken thighs. Yeah. And in terms of our pantry, so I am always taking rice out of this container. I like eating brown rice. Got some oatmeal, some like Asian dry noodles. We love to do popcorn on the stove. I don't ever do popcorn over on the microwave anymore. It's just laden with too many chemicals, but I like to do it in a big pot. This looks like wasabi almonds, pretzel crisps, chickpea snacks. So yeah, this is pretty much what we eat at home. Thanks for watching part 2. Part 3 is coming up next. Remember how I said I go on runs before I wash my hair? Yeah, there are a couple of other weird things that I do too. Can't believe I'm confessing and admitting them here. Take a look. Please don't judge me.